Well, hello Greystone family. It's good to see you all. I miss you guys. Wanted to give you a heads up about what this weekend is going to look like as we make the shift to opening up spaces for children during the worship services. Starting down here in the kids space, during both services, we will have the nursery available for children birth through pre-K. During the first service, the teal room is going to be open as our nursery. And then after the service is over, it's going to close down. We're going to kind of leave it to sit, to have time to be cleaned later in the week. But the purple room is going to be opened up during the second service as our nursery for kids birth through pre-K. And so what that's going to look like as you bring your kids in, first, if you have any symptoms in terms of coughing or sore throat or a fever or have potentially been exposed to anyone who's tested positive for COVID, go ahead and stay home. We do have our online services and we have our kids material so that you can continue to be involved in worship. But as you come in, first thing that'll happen, you'll see our check-in stations right here. And we ask that you let our nursery staff take care of doing the check-in process. First thing they're going to do is take temperature. And so it's a simple thing just right here on the forehead to take a test, make sure everything's looking good. I'm turning out okay. And you'll also notice that our nursery staff, we are going to be having them wearing both masks, and they're also going to have face shields. The big reason for that is that children under 2 are not supposed to be wearing a mask. And so in order to protect our staff effectively, we want to encourage them to have additional protection in that. Children who are over 2 years old, we do want to encourage, they will be required to wear a mask if they're taking part in anything here at the church, just as an additional safety precaution. And kids are amazingly resilient. I've been so impressed by my own kids and just their ability to walk into this and to navigate it well. And we recognize it's not easy, but our kids have been amazing in all of this. And so have them prepared. We will have additional masks available if you forgot one or if you need one. Those will be available for you down here. And so during the services, before the service gets started, or whenever you want to bring them down to come take part of this, kids pre-K and under, you can come and get them settled down in here. During the first service, that'll be the only children's programming that we have available, and so children will be encouraged to participate in worship. We do have worship bags upstairs to help kids stay engaged in the service, so you're welcome to grab one of those as you're coming into the service, just to keep busy hands and minds engaged in the whole service. But during the second service, when kids preschool and under are in the purple room, we'll also have those worship bags, but we will also have another option for our elementary aged kids. And so let's head on upstairs and I'll show you what it's going to look like as you come into the service on Sunday. So here in the back of the sanctuary is where you're going to want to come to check your kids in during the second service, specifically your elementary age kids. As you're coming in, you can go ahead and there'll be a person here manning the booth. So the first thing will be to they'll check their temperature, make sure they're under temp, still looks good. At that point, they'll be able to check you in to our system. We are limiting the number of spaces in Kids Jam, our elementary age program, in the second service. Right now, we're limiting it just to 12. And so once we hit that barrier, we won't be able to check in anymore. We do have our worship bags to help keep kids stay engaged in worship as they're here, with little goodies for them to take part in. And so we want to encourage you, if you're going to be sticking around, if you'd like for your kids to stay through the whole service, you're welcome to use those as a tool to help you engage them in what's happening in the service. But once you've got your kids checked in, feel free to go grab a seat in the sanctuary and enjoy the beginning of the worship service. Even if you come in a little late, please come back and grab a spot here so that you can check your kids in. Don't just send your kids downstairs. We're going to be checking to make sure that they're going to have a little label that indicates that they have been checked in and they're able to be a part. And so we'll make sure to announce that as we're getting ready to send them as part of that as well. So just keep that in mind. But right before the sermon, we will let the kids know that it's time for them to go ahead and come on up, to go on out the side doors following the Stoobies heading downstairs. And then we will pray for them as they're going, but they'll have a wonderful time downstairs with games and with songs and with a lesson that is specifically tailored for them in this time. And so we're excited that they have a chance to take part in that and to be able to come together. Once the service ends, you'll be ready to head downstairs to the green room to go pick them up. So let's go back downstairs and I'll show you where you'll pick them up and just a couple other things to see in that space. So now once you've got your kids checked in and the service is over, you'll come down here to the green room to come pick them up when everything's finished. But I wanted to give you just a little bit more of a picture of how all this is going to work. You'll notice that our water fountains are closed down. So if you know that your kid is going to get thirsty, you might want to bring a water bottle with them just to make sure all the water fountains in the building are off limits just for the time being, which is pretty standard right now. You'll also notice that our bathrooms, we're going to have one bathroom open per service. And so one will be available for the first service, then we'll close it down, and the other one will be available during the second service. Those are getting cleaned, and we're going to make sure that we have those available for people. And so our kids will be able to use them, but we're going to try and limit the cross-contamination between the two services as much as possible. So I wanted to give you a picture of what all that looks like. So we are so excited to have children come back and be a part of the ministries of this church. We want to continue to support you and your families as we are coming into this season and just be preparing for a little bit more of the normal. Just coming back into something that's important, and especially to let kids know that they matter so much in the life of the church because they matter so much in the heart of God. And so we're excited to see you, and hopefully we'll see you this coming Sunday.